Last year, around this time, I was teaching an MBA class in consumer behavior, and I'd crafted a super exciting assignment brief entitled Envisaging Consumer Journeys in the Metaverse. I facilitated an NFT workshop which challenged students to think about why any consumer would pay premium prices for NFT-based products such as trading cards, sports memorabilia, or artwork. We had a great discussion. The students were on fire, and we all felt that we were at the cutting edge of marketing and consumer behavior. As the course went on, big brands were coming to the metaverse. Tommy Hilfiger announced its intention to participate in Decentraland Metaverse Fashion Week. Nike launched virtual sneakers, and Louis Vuitton celebrated their 200 years anniversary in the metaverse. But then it got quiet, awfully quiet, like a big black nothingness. It was suddenly as if the metaverse had imploded before it ever really took off. And some evidence certainly points in that direction. Over the past year, Meta has lost billions of dollars on Reality Labs, which develops AR headsets and software for the metaverse. The sales of NFTs, which are important for the monetization of the metaverse, has reportedly dropped by 83%, and that corresponds to a decline in search traffic on Google for the word metaverse. And finally, Microsoft has killed its metaverse team only a month after it was created. It's therefore no surprise that the Financial Times journalist Jemima Kelly eloquently killed the metaverse in a recent opinion piece. Kelly's analysis attributes the apparent implosion of the metaverse to two different reasons. The first problem is ontological. No one seems to be able to agree on what the metaverse actually is. Is there one, two, or multiple metaverses? How do you get into the metaverse? Do you need AR or VR? Do you need a combination of both? Is the metaverse necessarily a three-dimensional world? Where the first problem is of a philosophical nature, the second problem that Jemima Kelly points out is much more practical. Her point is, nobody really wants the metaverse. This leads the journalist to conclude the metaverse never really began, and yet it's already over. Jemima Kelly's article has received more than 300 comments, which isn't bad for an opinion piece. And having mused myself with the pros and cons of the metaverse in the view of the wider public, it is a fact of public perception that a significant proportion of our fellow citizens hate the bloody idea of the metaverse. They think it's a fad, a marketing con, a downright superfluity. I know you have been waiting for it, and here it comes, the but. Because there is a big but, both in terms of public perception, entrepreneurial evidence, and, well, my own opinion about the future of the metaverse. Public perception first. Whilst the general sentiment in the comment in the Financial Times is captured in one reader's comment, Jemima, thank you for your uncommon common sense, there is a vibrant undercurrent of pro-tech comments. Several comments point out the journalistic lack of understanding of the technology and its capabilities. Sure enough, let them have that argument. However, that is not really sufficient to sway opinion. One comment stuck with me and deserves further scrutiny. The FT reader Musings observes that I'm no metaverse enthusiast, but think this article is premature. considering Apple is launching a mixed reality headset this year and mixed reality glasses at some point in the future. I'll put my money on that prediction. Which leads me to my second observation about the future of the metaverse. The brilliant strategy behind Apple's success is to adopt radical innovations that are too clunky to be of general use and turn them into aesthetically pleasing objects that solve problems for consumers. They've done this many, many times. They did it with the computer mouse, developed by the scientist Douglas Engelbart, and with little commercial success by Xerox. They did it with the smartphone, developed by IBM, popularized by BlackBerry. They did it with the tablet, developed by Cambridge Research and Linus Technologies, and they did it with the MP3 player, developed by British scientist Kane Kramer. So what they are just absolutely damn good at is knowing exactly when to enter the market with what for them is then an incremental innovation of a radical innovation that has been around for a while. If Apple's entrepreneurial history is anything to go by, the evidence suggests that at the moment they're working frantically behind the scenes on metaverse productization and just waiting for the right moment to enter the market with sufficient innovative momentum to define what the metaverse is, to define what the metaverse is to become, and how consumers will be using it. Yes, the metaverse has gone quiet, but to big technological players like Apple, this is probably just the silence before the commercial storm. I, for one, can't wait to welcome the metaverse into my work life. Like so many other people, I have tons of meetings on Teams, Zoom, Google Meet, even WebEx, and all of those meetings have one thing in common. They are extremely convenient because they give us that dynamic flexibility to organize our own lives, and at the same time they are unbearably clunky because the interaction in those meetings is just not good enough yet. I also teach an online MBA class, and as with the meetings, it is tremendously convenient to be able to connect with my students in Shanghai from the comfort of my home in the Scottish hills. That is just magnificent. But the technology just isn't quite good enough yet because the interactivity is quite poor. Anybody who is used to facilitating workshops online knows all the barriers when it comes to putting people into breakout rooms, going from one breakout room to another, facilitating discussion, getting people back into the main session. That is just very, very clunky. It doesn't really work seamlessly. And for that reason, I really think there is a huge market potential for metaverse applications if they can deliver on that promise to make that interactivity genuinely fluid and seamless. Another frequently voiced objection about the metaverse is the alienation that comes with having to use a headset or AR-enabled glasses. However, I do think this is just the late technology adopters' concerns, because in many ways we've already gone through the major transformation. The business scholars Kirk and Rifkin observed in a paper published in Journal of Business Research back in 2020 that the COVID-19 pandemic brought population-level adoption of social software, such as Zoom and social media, and they speculated that this rapid technology adoption would permanently change the way in which we socialize. And when you think about it, I think they are dead right there, because although we are now well into the new normal, all the restrictions that we knew from the pandemic have completely gone in most countries. And yet, pretty much, not just most, all my meetings are online. So when I'm back on campus, it's to meet with students, it's to engage with people for particular reasons other than professional work meetings. And when you think about that, then it's actually a very major, significant change to the social interaction of office workers that has already taken place. We have actually undergone a fundamental change in the social ontology of human interaction. Wearing a pair of Metaverse-enabled smart glasses is just another incremental step towards the rapid technologization of social interaction.